Good afternoon, everyone. This is Brad Matheny. Today's the 8th. We have about an hour and, well, about 2 hours to go before we run out of trading today. Really, about an hour and three-quarter, hour and 45 minutes. Wanted to touch base about what we're seeing today. Remember, today was a flat down trigger in trending mode. I expected a moderate melt up today. If you recall on the daily chart, let me come back over here to the SPY and highlight the fact that I had kind of drawn this channel, move this out a little bit, and I had drawn this channel in green to highlight the fact that I thought we would move into a sideways down channel, finding some support, reaching an apex after the noon time in Eastern Standard Time, and then begin to possibly melt upward. This is a 10-minute chart. We have about an hour and 45 minutes left to go, and now we are going to see if we get that melt up trend at all or not. One thing I do want to point out, though, is that we are very clearly flagging. So you can see here, we've got a fairly tight flag setting up here. And then you can argue at this point, we have a flag setting up across here. You can see this very large rally up to this point, indicating a flagpole, meaning that we started back off of this breakdown, really got up into the momentum move right here, and moved all the way up into this area. So we would have essentially a potential for a secondary upward price trend like this, assuming we flag and continue to move. That would put us very clearly up into this area that I highlighted just last weekend in the videos, the 565 area. So be aware that we are now flagging into a very tight little channel here, and I think we're going to see some rotation possibly through the end of the day. Maybe I'm trying to spread this out and get this cleaner for you. All right. It's just every time I move back, we can end up getting the flagpole data. So in reality here, folks, we're building some momentum. We have a new Fibonacci upward trend here based on Fibonacci price theory. You can watch my videos to learn about that. We have a fairly solid upward trend. We're building some support around here. We're in the flag apex. I would count this as A, B, C, moving down here to D, E, and rolling upward into a upward trend. And I think that's going to be a very clean pattern. I think you're going to see a rally out of this for probably 2-3 days. And I think it's going to be very quick to move up about 10 points in the SPY. Remember, this 10-point move here, come over here, click this, probably going to be about 3.5, almost 4% to the upside. Come check it out real quick. So gotta slide this a little further back, and 1.84% to the upside. So you've got about a 2% upside move here, which, given the flatness of today, is moderately impressive. Now I do expect to still run into some resistance here, possibly tomorrow morning. And then, like I said, I think we're going to see this start to target these higher levels higher and higher. Okay, let's take a look at the QQQ real quick. And drag this around, shrink this down a little bit. Here's our flag again. You can see I cleared some lines off this. You guys know already I draw a lot of lines. Sorry about that. We're kind of in an upward flag here. I'm going to draw this flag across here, and then I will draw this flag across here. And there you go. Okay, now we could, obviously draw across these channels here, which would set up a trend channel. down into these lower channels here. And it gives you kind of an idea of what the melt up might look like through the end of today. If we just melt upward in this trend, we could consolidate into this channel before we attempt to move out. If I were to count this, I would consider this through this channel an A, B, C, D, moving into an E, maybe trying to get a bit higher. We are up in this new flagging formation, like I said. So price is flagging right now. And remember, price does only two things. It either flags or it trends. And Fibonacci price theory teaches us that price is always attempting to reach a new high or a new low. So given the fact that we continue to see upward lows like this, and higher highs like this, eventually we're going to get a higher high over here, and then we'll get the big breakout. So where we're at with this, folks, is the flat down pattern, remember, is playing out very, very well. Then we get into a momentum rally tomorrow in carryover mode, a gap up higher in trend mode, and then we get a breaking in counter trend mode. So understand that this breaking pattern, either up or down in counter trend mode, if you follow me back over here, get rid of the dot that I just made, go back to the SPY, go back to daily, and reorganize. So here's our current day running very tight, flat down. Then we get the momentum rally. Then we get the break pattern. Let's go back and look at them real quick. We get the, drag this over here. Put this back here. And you can see here, we get the momentum rally, the gap up higher, then the breaking pattern. So here's our momentum rally, our gap up higher, and then the breaking pattern is this orange bar here. And I believe the breaking pattern is going to be a lot of volatility. I believe we could see a downward move in the morning, followed by a big rally phase, followed then by the carryover move here into Friday. That's going to be a moderate upward slide into Friday. Then we get the exhaustion rally, which I think is going to be possibly even higher than this, possibly up in this area. And then we get the breakdown. So understand that what we're really looking at here, folks, is today is a nice flat day. I know that some of you have been able to read between the lines, but I'm going to just tell you, if my analysis is correct, and tomorrow is a momentum rally, and then we get a gap up higher, then we get a big breaking bar, potentially to the upside, and then we get a carryover trend, you could be looking at a good solid 2.5%. Remember, that would end up being, just do the math real quick, 10.5 points to the upside on the SPY in the next 48 to call it 72 hours. Okay, the next 2 to 3 days, you could have a good solid rally, maybe up 10.5, 11.5 points to the upside. So I'm not telling you what to do, but I certainly wouldn't want to be trying to take a short position in this market trend right now. We're going to see how this plays out. I just wanted to give you guys an update and to remind you, whoa, okay. What happened to all my data? There we go. So here's our 10-second. That's not what I wanted. 10-minute. Here's our setup right now with the flag. Looks like we're breaking a little bit to the upside here. I believe we still have to end up back down in this area before the flag will break. So be aware that this is probably going to contract a bit before the flag breaks to the upside. But we're looking at an apex pattern here in about, like, for example, the last hour and 20 minutes of trading might be a good, solid short squeeze. So we'll see. Okay, it looks like we might be breaking out right about now. But again, I would urge you to be cautious of a bit of a pullback down back into this area over the next 30, 40 minutes. It is right now 11:30 in California. That would make it 2:30 in New York. Okay, guys, that's it for now. Be aware, this is playing out very, very well. Again, how can I predict what's going on? It's my cycle patterns. These are exclusively available at Mint.com, plus a whole bunch of other analysis and insights that I provide you as a member, subscribe member. Come check it out if you want. If you like what I'm doing and really want to kind of pick my brain, this is how you do it. And again, I've got these patterns all mapped out for the next 11 years. And I can just copy and paste to map them out for another 11 years if I want to. So these are this pattern, this flat down pattern, momentum rally, this whole next week or current week. This has been predicted for 2.5 years. How does it know 2.5 years in advance that today was going to be a flat down day and tomorrow's going to be a momentum rally? And remember, all of last week, how did it know all of last week was going to be just like this? I mean, really, ask yourself, how does it know? How do these patterns work? Well, I can't tell you, but I can tell you they're based on Fibonacci and Gann theory. Okay, so, from there, you might be able to reverse engineer what I'm doing, but understand that this is Fibonacci and Gann theory, price activity at work. And then I mapped out the patterns manually myself. So that gives you an idea of how, really important these are. I mean, I can tell you what's going to happen in November. I can tell you what's going to happen in December. I can tell you what's going to happen in March of 2031 if I wanted to. But I hide that information and just give you basically the next 2 or 3 weeks so you can see what's going on and try to give you input and knowledge and information to help you make better decisions. So, for example, I called the recent rally in gold perfectly, timed it. I called a big move in innovation sector and the ARC funds that just happened last week. I called it 2-3 months ago. I called that the dollar was going to continue to move higher, which it's still doing. Well, it's coming back a little bit, but it's going to be, it's really hard to argue with the fact that, I'm able to do this in advance, 2, 3, 4 weeks in advance. And I can tell you what the pattern's going to look like on election day. In fact, maybe I'll do an election day video, tell you what I think is going to happen on election day, and we'll go from there. Maybe I'll do it 3 months in advance and we'll kind of see what happens. Okay, guys, that's it for now. Remember, visit Mint.com if you want to learn more. Watch my videos on YouTube and on TradingView. It's all there for you, and I'm going to keep doing this at least for the next couple of weeks to try to help you guys out and show you what's really capable. Okay, guys, that's it. We'll see if we get the squeeze today.